Okay, yo, what's up everyone? Just give me a second to get set up here and we will get started. Okay. Alright. Oh, we're at 599 subs. Let's go. Just checking my volume off the phone. Oh, we're at 599 subs. Okay, that's good. Let's go. Who's gonna pop in and be that 600th? Okay. Let me pin a comment here. Okay. Let's pin that. Boom. Okay. Alright, so what we're gonna do is a little 30-minute video, an intro to Ableton. So basically I have a comment. Let's see, am I sharing my entire screen here with y'all? Yeah, I am. Okay, so I think if I go here to YouTube, you will be able to see it. Let's just confirm on the instant replay here. Okay. Okay, yeah, so that's showing up. Okay, so basically, I'm gonna show you all my comments here. I've got on this video. Let's pause it. I got a comment here from a Jacob Kindle. Shout out to you, Jacob. I don't know if that's Kindle or Kindle. Sorry if I butchered it. And so you're asking about the basics of whatever DAW I'm using, which is Ableton. I do know Logic as well. I could do this in Logic, but I don't have access to Logic because I'm on a PC. So yeah, but I have used Logic before. It's a good one, and you can definitely use that, and you can definitely take what you will see here and apply it to Logic, because a lot of the things are going to be the same. So what's up in the chat? Pop in and say what's up if you want to. Let me know how you're living like today. Okay. So actually, let me edit the oh yeah, okay. Say hi in the chat so I know who's in here. Boom, boom. Okay. Okay, so Jacob, because you are on Logic, let's just go over kind of the basics of a general DAW in general. So in most DAWs, you're gonna have, just like any other software, you're gonna have your file menu up here. So file, and you've got your basic stuff like save, open, right? Edit, you're gonna have a lot of other things. I don't use most of this. Most of this stuff you could do by right clicking, and then you have a smaller menu that pops up. But it's just a bunch of different stuff that you could do from there. Create, again, I do not use that really. I would right click to do those things and then go from the menu here. View, I rarely look at. Options, I look at a lot, because on options, that's where you're going to get your preferences, and that is where you're going to be able to change all kinds of stuff from the theme of your and color scheme of your DAW to the audio interface. And I personally when I am making beats and stuff or mixing, I will leave my driver set to the computer driver, the default computer driver. However, I have Cayso installed, which is an alternate driver that is good for when you want low latency. So when I'm recording, low latency means there's no delay between what I am saying and what gets recorded and what I hear back into the headphones. So sometimes if you record but you don't have something set up for low latency, you might get a slight delay on your audio recording, and then you have to try and drag it to get it to match up. I don't like to do that. I like when I record for it to sound exactly as I recorded it, because I don't like to try and recreate the exact timing of how I came onto the beat, by dragging and dropping. So anyways, just a little note about that. When I am recording, I change to the Cayso driver here, but I'm going to stay in here right now. MME/DirectX. Okay, that's kind of like technical stuff. Doesn't have much to do with actually making beats. Now, in Ableton and in most other DAWs, you're going to have a bar like this. This is your play bar. So you're going to have your play button, where if you press play, you can see right here, it starts to move. Now in Ableton, there's a little arrow right here. If I click that, Ableton will track the play marker. If I unclick it, it won't track the play marker. So you see when I click that little arrow up here, it tracks. And so that just depends on what you're doing. There's instances where I want it to be on, and there's some times where I want it to be off. I used to never have it on. I've come to prefer to have it on. So for most of the time. All right, and you got your stop button. If you double click the stop button, you'll go back to the start. Okay. This right here is your record button. So if you are recording vocals or instruments, or if you are even recording MIDI, if you're playing a piano or something and you're recording MIDI. Which again, for me, when I'm recording MIDI, I do have a keyboard here. When I'm recording that, I also switch to the Cayso driver, because if I don't, there is a delay between when I press the key and when I hear the sound. So yeah, let me see where we're at with time. Again, I was saying I want to keep this to be about a half hour. So let's see. Oh, usually it tells me, oh, here it is. Okay, I've been live for 7 minutes. Okay, so we got a little time. Right, so that is pretty much the basics of how to navigate the program. And a couple other things we'll go over. These are the tracks. Okay, there's a difference. Some of these are MIDI, some of these are audio. Audio just means that it would be like an audio file like this. If I double click on this in the place where the tool with a bar is at the top, it will come up and you can see this is a waveform. It's audio. This is a audio file that just has sound that is recorded and can be played. Now MIDI is different. I'm gonna highlight right here. I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna say insert MIDI clip. Then I'm gonna double click on the bar for that. This is what MIDI looks like. It is a series of notes laid out on a piano keys. So these are the piano keys here. And if I click on them, oh, well, they would make sound, but I have not loaded an instrument in. So I would have to load an instrument. So if I click this little arrow up here, this brings my little bin over here that has all my stuff. Click on sounds and I can go through sounds. I can click piano and I will get the grand piano and just put it here. And now I have told Ableton what I want to play these notes. So now if I click on the keyboard, all right, so now you're hearing the sound. Okay, so, and if I click play, it's gonna do these notes. So these notes extended from left to right go over time. Up and down, it's different keys, as you can see. So different notes, right? But left and right is time. It's how long the notes are held out for. So if I click play, you'll hear it. Oh, sorry. Let me mute this other one. So I'm going to mute this by clicking on the number 2 over here. Boom. Okay. Now we're only going to hear the piano right here. Okay, and you can see that the play marker moves from the left to right, telling you how much time has passed, or in this case, how many bars have passed. So in the DAW, time can be measured either literally in time, as you can see down here. This is 1 minute 50, 1 minute 10, 40 seconds, 10 seconds, right? So you've got the literal time down here, but you've also got bars, and that's this at the top. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So literally this is 1 bar. 1, 2, that's another bar. If I zoom in even more, you'll see even more detail. The bars themselves have sub bars, smaller divisions of bars, right? 1/4 of a bar right here, or 1/2 of a bar. So what's up to everybody? If there's anyone here with me, say what's up, or don't, you know, just enjoy the tutorial. Glad you're here, and hope you're learning. Let me know if there's something you have a question about. Okay, so bars, right? These are musical bars. Now, for another example of a bar, if I click these little dots up here, boom, that's called the metronome, and that's going to count off the bars. So if I click play now, so it's pup, 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 and every 4 times that the dot repeats, that the blip repeats, it's a new bar, and you'll hear it sounds a little bit different. It's like pup, 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 pup. So that first one indicates a new bar. All right, so yeah, just keep that in mind, that you can measure time in Ableton and in other DAWs as well by bars or by time. And now, honestly, like for me, I mean, I use Ableton every day, and I have been for, you know, nearly every day. So, or at least every week. And to be honest, if you had put me on like a quiz where I couldn't look at Ableton, I don't even know if I would have been able to tell you that the time marker is right here. I really don't look at it unless I just want to know like how long this, you know, if I'm making a beat and I'm going to send it to an artist and I'm like, how long is this? You know, I don't normally, artists nowadays want a beat that's probably 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. So it's like a good idea. So when I check it, if I've made something and, you know, depending on how fast or slow the song is, it might only have looped, that my beat may only have looped a couple times, but it might be like really long or something. So yeah, so anyways, that's what I would mainly check the time for, but usually I'm looking at bars, if anything. And really, when I'm creating stuff, I don't look at bars that much anyways. I'm mostly looking at the patterns here. So if I highlight this right here, just by clicking and dragging, and then I press Control D, I can duplicate. So this is normally what I'm doing when I'm making beats. I'm not even really looking at the numbers at the top or the bottom. I'm looking at the patterns, right? So now if I duplicate that a few times, I can see that this is a whole chunk of just this piano pattern that is going, and I can tell that it's in chunks of 4, so I can even join those if I want. I can highlight all of them, right click, consolidate, which is also Control J, boom. And now I would probably do that if I was making this, just so that I can see more visually that like, okay, this is 4 segments. And now if I'm adding some other things, I know that I can think about this in a different way. It's not, if it's like looks like this, I'm just like, that looks kind of confusing. But if I have it like this, then it makes a little more sense. So Dion, yo, what's up, Dion, man? It's been a minute, dude. I was thinking about, I wasn't remembering anybody by name, but I was like, I gotta get back. I was like, I wonder if I go live, if some of the live homies will pop back in, you know, because it's like I've been posting tons of like YouTube shorts and stuff, and I'm starting to drop songs again regularly. But sometimes, you know, you don't, it's just like the particular homies that you see when you go live. So you said The Met is your favorite song. By is that like is that J. Cole? The Met? Let me respond in the chat. Yeah, Dion up in this. Let's go. Okay, let me check my time. Okay, we're at 16 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna go for another 15 minutes or so and then wrap this up, so it's not too long of an intro for those of you that are starting out. Okay, so the question originally, I've kind of just been freestyling here. The question originally was just, I want to make beats, I don't know where to start. So far I've just been going over the basics of Ableton and how it works, right? So we talked about how there's tracks, we talked about the MIDI blocks here, audio files, we talked about audio files, and you can see that when I click on these things, they get highlighted in this little highlight area down here. I don't know what this is called, but it's the highlight area. It shows you the detail of whatever you've selected in this top area. Yeah, so that is pretty much, and then what you've got here, I like to minimize this just to have more workspace, but this right here is your sort of browser window where you bring things in to the project. So this is, here you're kind of building the song, you're manipulating things, looping them, stacking them, stuff like that, arranging them. And then Dion said 100 BPM hits different. Wait, what's 100 BPM? Is that song, The Met? That's 100 BPM. Okay, so that's a good thing to mention though, that I didn't mention, is this is the BPM up here in the corner, very tiny. It has a number, and so if I change it to 100, for instance, you can hear that everything's slower. I'm gonna make these happen a little more often so that you can really hear a difference. Okay, so this is at 100 BPM. No, no, I know, Dion, I know what BPM is. I just meant like, I thought maybe you said 100 BPM hits different because it was the BPM for the song you were talking about. So now if I speed up the BPM up here, if I click in this box and I drag it up, okay, let's say I go to 140, and let's hear how that is. So right compared to 100. So it's slower, right? So that's, anyways, that's BPM. And you'll need to pick a BPM for your beat, right? So that's pretty much everything. One other good thing to mention is over here on the right side of the tracks here, you've got this at the top where it says number 1. That turns the track on or off. If I click it, I'm going to turn the BPM off too, y'all. If I click it, there's no sound. Okay, if I click the number so that it's highlighted, now there is sound. Okay, and then this right underneath of it where it says 0, if I drag that down, it gets quieter. If I drag it up, it gets louder. Okay, so that's what that is. That's the most important thing about this over here right now. You don't really need to know about the other stuff right now. Okay. So this over here, this window, just to finish like talking about what all the different windows are. This has like sounds, and so you see it has sounds, drums, right? Instruments, audio effects, MIDI effects, plugins, clips, samples. These are all things that you would drag into your arrangement. This is kind of your toolkit. And then down here is just places. This is particular folders on your computer. So these are particular folders that I have told Ableton to put here that they're not like default categories from Ableton. Like these are default categories that are in Ableton always. Places is like, I've picked out these folders. These are actual folders on my computer by clicking add folder and then navigating to that folder. Okay, so up here, favorites and green, I think that's a way to organize your stuff. I don't really use that. There's a search bar, which can be useful. Like let's say I wanted to find 808s, right? If I type in the word 808 and then I go to my kits, and I start navigating, it's going to show me only things that have 808 in the title. So that is a good way. Like some people, like my cousin I know uses the search a lot. I don't necessarily use it like all that much. I don't know why, but I just like to kind of like navigate to my kits and look through them like this. Cause I know like, for instance, King Kit, I know what those 808s kind of sound like in general. So if I want that sound, I will specifically go to this kit. Whereas if I was just searching 808, then a whole bunch of stuff comes up, right? And yeah, I mean, either way, you can, it's probably helpful to do. I just don't a lot of the time. Also, sometimes you just don't want to click up there and type, you know. So, okay. Let me see what Dion's talking about. Oh God. If one metronome leaves the station headed east going at 120 BPM and another metronome leaves the station headed south at 123 BPM but stops for gas at the 8 bar, which beat hits harder? Yo, the answer is Lil Yachty. Okay. So that was good, Dion. That was funny. Okay. So I think we just have a little bit of time left because I don't want to make this too long again. So we've only got about 5 minutes. So I'm going to start to get into, so that's probably boring if you want to start making beats, but that's all kind of stuff that you kind of need to know, because if you just jump into trying to make a beat, inevitably you're just going to be like, wait, what is this? Wait, what does this do? So I tried to give like a brief overview of what all the what is this things are that you're going to need to just start making sort of the most basic beats. Cool. So now let's talk about Actually, you know what? Let's not. Let's just wrap that up there, and then I think that's a good stopping point. And then next time we will. Well, nah. Okay. Next time we'll get into making beats, but I'll do a quick couple minute explanation of how to get a simple beat going. So, okay. So right here, we've got a piano right here. Now I can just keep that, right? Now if this thing right here, this loops things. So this is going to loop a section if I turn the loop button on up here. So boom, now it's on. Okay, now I can play this. Now that piano is gonna get annoying to me, so I'm gonna put some effects on it. I'm going to audio effects, and these are default effects, so everyone would have these. Stock reverb, drag it and drop it. Okay, sounds a little cooler. Stock EQ, drag it, drop it. Changing to a flat curve, going up to take some of the bass out, right? Alright. I'm gonna delete this stuff. I'm using some shortcuts and stuff, so don't worry if you're lost. I'll go over this more on the next video. Alright. Next, I'm gonna go to sounds. Or no, drums. And this is stock. This is also stock in Ableton. Okay, so I'm just going to drums and I'm gonna pick some kicks out. That's an 808. Okay, let's use it. Okay. 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 So I'm just coming up with a rhythm and then duplicating it. Okay. I'm gonna get a hi-hat. Same from this stock drums of Ableton. Hi-hat. There, I wanted something tight, like that. Okay. Let's just duplicate this, just like I did with the other one. And I'm going to highlight all of them and move them back a little bit, just to give it a little bit so it's not so computery. And then I'm going to come in here and just edit the velocities here of some of these, just to give it a little more variety. Okay, that's fine. Let's play it. Duplicate. I'm using some shortcuts and stuff, so don't worry if you don't know what I'm doing. Giving myself hearts. Okay. Now let's give me a snare. Okay, we'll just get that snare right there. Okay. Okay, we got a basic little beat going, right? Or maybe we want to like kind of trap it out a little bit, which I prefer to do. So maybe we add some little hi-hats. You know, just something slight. All right, so there you go. That brings us right to 30 minutes. So yeah, there you go. We'll go over in the next installment of this, we'll kind of talk a little more about what I just did right there, what my thought process was behind doing that stuff, maybe even how to do it so quickly, because there's some tricks that you can kind of use to make a basic beat, you know, and then you can just tweak it, change it, stuff you don't like, change it. Yeah. All right, so thank you for watching, and my new song, Talk, as you can see in the banner here, is out now. Go check that out. It's on all streaming platforms, and you didn't hear it here, but there might be a music video coming soon, so keep your eyes peeled this weekend. And yeah, anyways, nobody said anything about anything, so everyone have a good time in life. Leave a comment. Let me know what's up. Did you like it? Do you want to see something else next time? Peace.